Worthing is a large seaside town in England, with borough status in West Sussex, in the historic county of Sussex. It is situated at the foot of the South Downs, 10 miles west of Brighton, and 18 miles east of the county town of Chichester. With an estimated population of 104,600 and an area of 12.5 square miles, the borough is the second largest component of the Brighton, Worthing, Littlehampton conurbation, which makes it part of the 15th most populous urban area in the United Kingdom. The area around Worthing has been populated for at least 6,000 years and contains Britain's greatest concentration of Stone Age flint mines, which are some of the earliest mines in Europe. Lying within the borough, the Iron Age hill fort of Sisbury Ring is one of Britain's largest. Worthing means Worth Warro's people, from the Old English personal name Worth Warrow, and Ingus, people of. For many centuries Worthing was a small mackerel fishing hamlet until in the late 18th century it developed into an elegant Georgian seaside resort, and attracted the well-known and wealthy of the day. In the 19th and 20th centuries the area was one of Britain's chief market gardening centres. Modern Worthing has a large service industry, particularly in financial services. It has 3 theatres and one of Britain's oldest cinemas. Writers Oscar Wilde and Harold Pinter lived and worked in the town. History. From around 4000 BC, the South Downs above Worthing was Britain's earliest and largest flint mining area, with 4 of the UK's 14 known flint mines lying within 7 miles of the centre of Worthing. An excavation at Little High Street dates the earliest remains from Worthing town centre to the Bronze Age. There is also an important Bronze Age hill fort on the western fringes of the modern borough at Down Hill. During the Iron Age, one of Britain's largest hill forts was built at Sisbury Ring. The area was part of the civitas of the Regni during the Romano-British period. Several of the borough's roads date from this era and lie in a grid layout known as centuriation. A Romano-British farmstead once stood in the centre of the town, out of sight close to the town hall. In the 5th and 6th centuries, the area became part of the Kingdom of Sussex. The place names of the area, including the name Worthing itself, date from this period. Worthing remained an agricultural and fishing hamlet for centuries until the arrival of wealthy visitors in the 1750s. Princess Amelia stayed in the town in 1798 and the fashionable and wealthy continued to stay in Worthing, which became a town in 1803. The town expanded and elegant developments such as Park Crescent and Liverpool Terrace were begun. The area was a stronghold of smugglers in the 19th century and was the site of rioting by the Skeleton Army in the 1880s. Oscar Wilde holidayed in the town in 1893 and 1894, writing the importance of being earnest during his second visit. The town was home to several literary figures in the 20th century, including Nobel Prize winner Harold Pinter. During the Second World War, Worthing was home to several Allied military divisions in preparation for the D-Day landings. Worthing became the world's 229th transition town in October 2009. Transition Town Worthing. The project exploring the town's transition to life after oil was established by local residents as a way of planning the town's energy descent action plan. Etymology. Worthing means Worth or the Warro's people, from the Old English personal name Worth or the Warrow, and Ingus. The name was first recorded as Wang as in Old English, then as Ordanges in the Domesday Book of 1086, Wowanange in 1183, Wording in 1218, Wording or Worthing in 1240, Worthinshires in 1288 and Worthing in 1397. Worthing was used as late as 1720. The modern name was first documented in 1297. Another village with a similar name near Emmen in Drenthe in the northeastern part of the Netherlands is Weerding. Older local people sometimes claim that the name of Worthing is derived from a natural annual phenomenon. Seaweed beds off nearby Bognor Regis are ripped up by summer storms and prevailing Atlantic currents deposited on the beach. A rich source of nitrates, it makes good fertilizer. The decaying weed was sought by farmers from the surrounding area. Thus the town would have become known as Worthing. Governance. Worthing was incorporated as a municipal borough in 1890, when the towns absorbed the neighbouring civil parish of Hene. Subsequent enlargements took place in 1902, 1929 and 1933 before being reincorporated as a borough in 1974 under the Local Government Act 1972. Since its inception as a borough, the authority has granted freedom of the town to some 18 individuals. The borough's coat of arms includes 3 silver mackerel, a horn of plenty overflowing with corn and fruit on a cloth of gold, and the figure of a woman, considered likely to be Hygeia, the ancient Greek goddess of health, holding a snake. The images represent the health given from the seas, the fullness and riches gained from the earth, and the power of healing. Worthing's motto is the Latin Ex terra copium e mare salutum, which translates as, from the land plenty and from the sea health. On March 31, 1930, Charles Bentinck was elected to the Offington ward of the West Sussex County Council. Later that year, Bud, who lived at Greenville, Grove Road, was elected to the town council as the independent representative of Ham Ward in Broadwater. At an election meeting on 16 October 1933, Bud revealed he was now a member of the British Union of Fascists. He was duly re-elected, and the national press reported that Worthing was the first town in the country to elect a fascist councillor. The borough is divided into 13 wards, with 11 returning 3 councillors and 2 returning 2 councillors to form a total council of 37 members. The borough is unparished. Worthing remains part of the 2-tier structure of local government, with some services being provided by West Sussex County Council. The town currently returns 9 councillors to the county council from 9 single-member electoral divisions. The town has 2 members of parliament: Tim Loudon for East Worthing and Shoreham, who was Under-Secretary of State for Children and Families, and Peter Bottomley for Worthing West. At the 2010 general election, both were safe Conservative seats and have been held by their incumbents since the seat's creation before the 1997 general election. From 1945 to 1997, Worthing returned 1 MP. Since 1945, Worthing has always returned Conservative MPs. Until 1945, Worthing formed part of the Horsham and Worthing parliamentary constituency. Worthing is included in the South East England constituency for elections to the European Parliament. Geography. Worthing is situated on the West Sussex coast in southeast England, 49 miles south of London and 10 miles west of Brighton and Hove. It forms part of the Brighton, Worthing, Littlehampton conurbation, along with neighbouring towns and villages in the county such as Littlehampton, Findon, Somting, Lancing, Shoreham by Sea and Southwick. The area is the United Kingdom's 12th largest conurbation, with a population of over 460,000. The borough of Worthing is bordered by the West Sussex local authority districts of Arun in the north and west, and Ada in the east. The town is dominated by the Downs to the north. Sisbury Ring, a site of special scientific interest, rises to 184 metres in the north of the borough. A further high point is at West Hill northwest of High Salvington. Lying on the south coast of England, Worthing is situated on a mix of 2 beds of sedimentary rock. A large part of the town, including the town centre, is built upon chalk. with a bed of London clay found in a band heading west from Lancing through Broadwater and Durrington. There are no major rivers within the borough, however the culverted Teviot stream begins as a spring in what is now allotments in Tyring, runs along Tyring Road and Teviot Road north of the town centre, passing to the east through Homefield Park and Davison High School before meeting the sea at Brooklands, where the Broadwater Brook meets the sea. To the west and also in parts culverted, Ferring Rife rises in Durrington near Littlehampton Road, passing through May Bridge, then west of Ferring into the sea, being located in the south coast plain at the foot of the South Downs. Some of the undeveloped land in the north of the borough is proposed to form part of the South Downs National Park. The west of the borough contains some ancient woodland at Titnor. The development along the coastal strip is interrupted by strategic gaps at the borough boundaries in the east and west, each gap falling largely outside the borough boundaries. The southwest of the borough contains part of the Goring Gap, a protected area of fields and woodland between Goring and Ferring. To the east of Worthing lies the Sompting Gap, a protected area that lies between Worthing and Sompting. This area was formerly an inlet of the sea, and it is here that the Broadwater Brook flows into Brooklands Park and on into the sea. Some of the reed beds in the Sompting Gap at Lower Cockham have been designated a site of nature conservation importance. The borough of Worthing contains no nature reserves. The nearest is Widewater Lagoon in Lancing, marine environment lying some 3 miles off the coast of Worthing. The Worthing Lumps are a series of underwater chalk cliff faces, up to 3 meters high. The Lumps, described as one of the best chalk reefs in Europe by the Marine Conservation Society, are home to rare fish such as blennies and the lesser spotted dogfish. The site has been declared a Site of Nature Conservation Importance by West Sussex County Council. Climate: Worthing has a temperate climate. Its Köppen climate classification is CFB. Its mean annual temperature of 10.6 degrees Celsius is similar to that experienced along the Sussex coast, and slightly warmer than nearby areas such as the Sussex Weald. On most summer afternoons a sea breeze, sometimes known as the Worthing effect by the local watersports community, blows from the southwest, building throughout the morning and peaking generally mid to late afternoon. Districts: the borough of Worthing comprises many smaller districts, some of which share the names, although not necessarily boundaries, with local electoral wards: Broadwater, Durrington, Findon Valley, Goring, Ean, High Salvington, Offington, Salvington, Tyring. Demography: according to the Office for National Statistics, Worthing's population increased to an estimated 100,200 in 2008. Worthing is the most densely populated local authority area in East and West Sussex, with a population density in 2001 of 30.04 people per hectare. Worthing underwent dramatic population growth both in the early 19th century as the hamlet had newly become a town and again in the 1880s. The town experienced further growth in the 1930s, and again when new estates were built, using prisoner of war labor, to the west of the town from 1948. The main driver of population growth in Worthing during the 1990s and first decade of the 21st century has been in-migration into Worthing. In particular, Worthing is the most popular destination for people moving from the nearby city of Brighton and Hove, with significant numbers also moving to the borough from London. According to the UK government's 2001 census, Worthing is overwhelmingly populated by people of a white British ethnic background at 97.2%, significantly higher than the national average of 90.9%. Other ethnic groups in the district, in order of population size, are multiracial at 0.9%, Asian at 0.9% and black at 0.3%. Worthing is the most ethnically diverse local authority area within the coastal districts of West Sussex, with a black and ethnic minority population equating to 4.6% of the total population. Worthing has a younger population than the other three districts of coastal West Sussex, albeit older than the southeast average. In 2006, 26.7% of the population were between 25 and 44 years old, which is a higher proportion compared to the other districts in the coastal West Sussex area. Over the last 20 years, Worthing has seen the sharpest decline in its population aged 65 years or more, with its proportion of the total population falling by 8.1%, at a time when this age group has actually grown across the southeast region and elsewhere. In contrast, there have been comparatively significant increases in older families and family makers within the borough. In 2010, the estimated median age of the population of Worthing was 42.8 years, 3.2 years older than the average for the UK of 39.6 years. According to the 2001 United Kingdom census, 97,568 people lived in the borough of Worthing. Of these, 72.14% identified themselves as Christian, 0.75% were Muslim, 0.34% were Buddhist, 0.26% were Jewish, 0.22% were Hindus, 0.11% were Sikh, 0.46% followed another religion, 16.99% claimed no religious affiliation, and 8.73% did not state the religion. The proportion of Christians was slightly higher than the 71.74% in England as a whole. Buddhism and other religions were also practiced more widely in Worthing than nationally. Islam, Hinduism, Judaism and Sikhism had significantly fewer followers than average. In 2001, 3.1% of people in England were Muslim, 1.1% were Hindus, 0.7% were Sikh and 0.5% were Jewish. The proportion of people with no religious affiliation was much higher than the national figure of 14.59%. Religion. The borough of Worthing has about 50 active Christian places of worship. There is also a mosque, which follows the Sunni tradition. There are also 16 former church buildings which are either disused or in secular use. Worthing's first Anglican church, St. Paul's, was built in 1812. Previously, worshippers had to travel to the ancient parish church of Broadwater. John Rebecca's classical-style building became structurally unsound and closed in 1995. The austere design was well regarded at first, but architectural writers have since criticized it. Its importance derives from its status as the spiritual and social center around which the town developed. Residential growth in the 19th century led to several other Anglican churches opening in the town centre. Christ Church was started in 1840 and survived a closure threat in 2006. Arthur Blomfield's St. Andrew's Church brought the controversial high church form of worship to the town in the 1880s. Its Worthing Madonna icon was particularly notorious, and Holy Trinity Church opened at the same time but with less dispute. Other Anglican churches were built in the 20th century to serve new residents residential areas such as High Salvington and Maybridge, and the ancient villages which were absorbed into Worthing Borough between 1890 and 1929 each had their own church. Broadwaters had Saxon origins, St Mary's at Goring-by-Sea was Norman, St Andrews at West Tarring was 13th century, and St Botolph's at Ene and St Symphorian's at Durrington were rebuilt from medieval ruins. All of the borough's churches are in the rural deanery of Worthing and the Diocese of Chichester. The first Roman Catholic church in Worthing opened in 1864. The centrally located St Mary of the Angels Church has since been joined by others at East Worthing, Goring-by-Sea and High Salvington. All are in Worthing Deanery in the Roman Catholic Diocese of Arundel and Brighton. Protestant nonconformism has a long history in Worthing. The town's first place of worship was an independent chapel. Methodists, Baptists, the United Reformed Church and evangelical Christian groups each have several churches in the borough, and other denominations represented include Christadelphians, Christian Scientists, Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons and Plymouth Brethren. The Salvation Army have been established for more than a century, but their arrival in Worthing prompted large-scale riots involving a group called the Skeleton Army. These continued intermittently for several years in the 1880s. Worthing's Churches Together organization, currently chaired by Nigel O'Dwyer, encourages ecumenical work and links between the town's churches. Church leaders meet regularly to pray for the town and to organize events together through prayer night. A town-wide youth service, Crossroads, brings together young people from all denominations. New Song Cafe performs a similar function for the town's church musicians. Other Christian organizations include Worthing Churches, Homeless Projects and Street Pastors. In October 2009, a mission festival weekend was held to celebrate the range of mission agencies based in Worthing. The centerpiece was a parade from Worthing Pier to St Paul's Church. Education. Worthing has 22 primary schools, 5 secondary schools, 1 primary and secondary special school, 2 independent schools, 1 sixth form college and 1 college of higher and further education. Schools in the borough are provided by West Sussex County Council. Broadly speaking, the town has a system of first, middle, high progression, and so the 22 primary schools are made up of a combination of first, middle and combined schools. In 2012, a consultation was underway to review whether to continue this policy or adopt a policy of transferring to secondary schools at the age of 11 as elsewhere in West Sussex. Our Lady of Science School, an independent school, was the most successful secondary school in Worthing for GCSE results in 2012. To 100% of pupils gained 5 or more GCSEs at A** to C grade. Durrington High School was the highest achieving state school with 58%, closely followed by Davison High School with 52%. Worthing High School and St Andrews School achieved 48%, and the worst performing school was Chatsmore Catholic High School, where only 43% of students achieved 5 or more A** to C grade results. With 2 campuses in Worthing and another at nearby Shoreham Airport, Northbrook College has around 16,000 full-time and part-time students and is an affiliate college of Brighton University. Its West Durrington campus is referred to as University Centre Worthing, and it provides higher education to around 1,000 students, most of whom study art and design. In 2012, Northbrook College announced plans to begin the second phase of a multi-million-pound redevelopment of its Broadwater campus, the town's sixth form college. Worthing College announced plans to move in 2013 to a new campus located at the Warren covering 8 hectares, and the move took place at the beginning of the 2013-2014 academic year, with the previous site being used for housing. Economy and regeneration. Worthing's economy is dominated by the service industry, particularly financial services. Major employers include GlaxoSmithKline, HM Revenue and AMP Customs, MGM Advantage and Southern Water. In October 2009, GlaxoSmithKline confirmed that 250 employees in Worthing would lose their jobs at the factory, which makes the antibiotics coamoxiclav and amoxicillin and hundreds of other products. As of 2009, there were approximately 43,000 jobs in the borough. Although Worthing was voted the most profitable town in Britain for 3 consecutive years at the end of the 1990s, the annual survey of hours and earnings 2009 found that Worthing residents' mean pre-tax pay is only £452 per week, compared to £487 for West Sussex and £535 for South East England as a whole. In 2008, Worthing was in the top 10 urban areas in England for jobs in each of 3 key sectors, thought to have a significant impact on economic performance: creative, high-tech industries and knowledge-intensive business services. The 2012 UK Town and City Index from Santander UK ranked Worthing as the second highest town or city in the UK for connectivity and ranked 5th in the UK overall out of 74 towns and cities. Regeneration. In June 2006, Worthing Borough Council agreed a master plan for the town's regeneration, focused on improving the town centre and seafront. A new £150 million development is proposed for Tevill Gate, between Worthing railway station and the A24 at the northern approach to the town centre. It is expected to include 2 residential towers, a multiplex cinema, hotel and conference and exhibition centre. The developers are expected to apply for planning permission in the summer of 2010. Redevelopment is planned for the Grafton Street car park area, and the town's major undercover shopping centre, the Guildbourne Centre, may be rebuilt entirely and extended to Union Place, covering the site of the town's former police station. Work planned for the seafront includes the installation of an artwork named Sun Cloud Gardens and public space. The former Urdley Hotel, overlooking Splash Point, is being demolished and rebuilt in a similar style as luxury flats. Swiss electronics firm LEMO are building a new headquarters in North Street. The building, nicknamed The Peanut, is due to open in 2010. In early 2008, the town's further education college, Northbrook College, announced proposals to invest £70 million to consolidate its operations onto one campus in Broadwater. Worthing College, the town's sixth form college, has had plans approved for a £42 million redevelopment of its campus near Durrington railway station. In 2009, both schemes were threatened by delays in receiving money from the Learning and Skills Council. In the longer term, the area around Worthing's museum, art gallery, library and town hall, collectively described as the Worthing Cultural and Civic Hub, is to be revamped to provide extra facilities and new housing. In 2009, Worthing Borough Council applied for a £5 million grant from the Heritage Lottery Fund to redevelop and enlarge the museum. A new £16 million municipal swimming pool, Splash Point Leisure Centre, has been designed by Stirling Prize-winning architects Wilkinson Eyre. It was opened by Paralympian Ellie Simmonds in June 2013. It has been proposed that Montague Place is pedestrianised to improve the link between the town centre and the seafront. Completed regeneration projects include the reopening of the Dome Cinema in 2007 after major investment from the Heritage Lottery Fund, and a £5.5 million mixed-use development on the site of a former hotel near Teviot Gate. Transport. A turnpike was opened in 1803 to connect Worthing with London, and similar toll roads were built later in the 19th century to connect nearby villages. Stagecoach traffic grew rapidly until 1845, when the opening of a railway line from Brighton brought about an immediate decline. The former turnpike is now the A24, a primary route which runs northwards to London via Horsham. Two east-west routes run through the borough. The A27 trunk road runs to Brighton, Chichester and Portsmouth, and the A259 follows a coastal route between Hampshire and Kent. Most local and long-distance buses are operated by Stagecoach in the South Downs, a division of Stagecoach Group plc which has its origins in South Down Motor Services, founded in 1915 with one route to Pulborough. Stagecoach in the South Downs operates several routes around the town and to Midhurst, Brighton and Portsmouth. The most frequent service between Lancing and Durrington was branded Pulse in 2006. Worthing-based Compass Travel have routes to Angmering, Chichester, Henfield and Lancing, and other companies serve Horsham, Crawley, Brighton and intermediate destinations. National Express coaches run between London's Victoria Coach Station and Marine Parade. The borough has 5 railway stations: East Worthing, Worthing, West Worthing, Durrington-on-Sea and Goring-by-Sea. All are on the West Coastway Line and are managed and operated by the Southern Train Operating Company. Worthing opened on the 24th of November 1845 as a temporary terminus of the line from Brighton, which was extended to Chichester the following year and electrified in the 1930s. Regular services run to destinations such as London, Gatwick Airport, Brighton, Littlehampton and Portsmouth. Shoreham Airport is about 5 miles east of Worthing. The nearest international airport is London Gatwick, about 28 miles to the northeast.